that sugar sweet. You got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat. Tested by the potion. Loving this devotion.
miss that sexy smile. Looking forward to see you. I hope I will lose control. Love you every night, no checking the time. 'Cause I was loving you. time, just us loving you.